Plastic fans, Mark Goldbridge, I'm calling you out. Where are you? Where are you, Mark Goldbridge? I've been to 3 Manchester United games this season. How many have you been to? A big fat 0. Your boys took a beating today and we're going to talk about it. Did you like that?
I fucking love it, mate. Send those dickheads back down the MI team with their dicks in their hands, fuck them.
And the fucking green screened and a lot of them are plastic fucks. Anyways, welcome everybody to The Last Words.
Are you happy today?
I am, can you tell?
Yeah.
A lot of F-bombs come out when I'm happy. A lot of F-bombs. And yes, you Manchester United fans, you're going to mention the Carabao Cup. And yes, you beat where, yes, but we didn't have a full-strength squad. Today showed that's the true Newcastle United. That reminded me of Arsenal.
We got the last laugh. That's all it counts. We got the last
word.
laugh.
We had the last word.
Last laugh.
We came back out the studio. I'm on my high horse because I can't stand plastic fans. And fair play to them, the ones that came today, no problems. Manchester United's away following. Carl, let's talk about the lineup. There was some debate, would Joe Linton come straight in or not? He didn't. And obviously me and Johnny were talking off camera, guys. If he starts Joe Linton today, he's undroppable, and that sends a message out the squad.
Yeah, I think I was talking about it myself this morning. I wasn't sure whether Maxi was fully fit, for example. Obviously, we knew Miggy wasn't going to be there, so yeah, I was actually surprised because I didn't see the lineup until I actually got into the stadium, so I wasn't aware. So I was under the impression that Joe Linton might be starting, but obviously knowing that Maxi was okay, I think it was fair because you know when a team's done well previously, it's not fair to kind of drop anyone. So you know, with regards to what the situation was, I think it was the right decision.
It was possibly Newcastle's strongest squad for a long, long time because you take 14 players, after that it struggles a little bit. Before we'll go straight in the game. I can see.
Did we mention that our top goal scorer was out as well? Did our top
Miggy?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we just played Man United without our top goal scorer and we just thrashed them. Sorry, just thought I'd add that in.
Go on, because it won't be just me that gets hit.
I'm just adding that in there. You know, the top goal scorer, purple patch, Mr. Miguel Almiron, didn't play today, didn't need to, just flipping dominated you. Anyway, as we were. Carry on.
Do you want to say anything before we move on?
Yeah, they just come up with the same shit fucking song. They were walking through the city centre, giving it loads about Alan Shearer. You're shit. You are shit. No, we don't care about the Carabao Cup anymore. We don't care. Take it. We're going for Champions League. We're over it. Like it's in our hands. Fuck the lot of them. Fuck up.
Johnny, your turn, or you just...
Do you know what it is? What summed it up for me, and you remember this, when we were on the tube and Man United fans were giving it the big one. They weren't even watching them lift the trophy. That pissed me right off, and they were just fucking irritating. They were irritating the day. Bruno Fernandes is a little rat. He's a little rat. But you know
Go
what?
on, Johnny, let it out. Go on. Let's get it out. This is therapy.
Do you know what
Where your psychologists?
Psychologists, really.
Go on, let it out.
But you know what it is? I absolutely hate them. They think they're glorified. They think that they deserve everything on a plate. Your boys took one hell of a beating today, honestly. From first minute to last, there was only one team that wanted it, and that was Newcastle United. Simple as that.
Oh yeah, by the way, will the real Brunos please stand up? Do you know what I mean? They talk about this
there's
Bruno.
only one Bruno.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They talk about this Bruno Fernandes. I didn't see him today. Honestly, where'd he go? Was he hiding?
Whinging, that's what he was doing for. He was whinging like a fucking rat.
Bruno, absolute masterclass. Just showed him the levels that he's at. Sorry, I'm just have to say that. Anyway,
Man United fans gotta hate us, but hey. You give it, you've got to receive it. Do you know what I mean?
Petulant children. That's what they were. Petulant fucking children. I didn't expect it from Rashford, to be fair, but even he was getting involved, frustrating, throwing his boot around. Fucking childish.
There's only one line, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. Let's talk about.
There's one line. Geordie boys taking the piss, mate. That's what it is.
Let's talk about the game. Sorry, I don't know how many minutes when we hadn't even started then. The first half, Joe Willock had a great chance. Shaw Longstaff had a couple of header in a long range. I went wide. For me, we were the better team. I'm going to come forward on this. We really, because I said in the WhatsApp, I said if we didn't take the chances, it would come back and bite us. Thankfully, the second half was different. We'll come on to that in a minute. But were you worried that we're having all these chances, we're playing well, we just couldn't convert?
Yeah, we actually started well for once, which is worked good, obviously. So we're just looking at a big old camera above us right now.
I bet that's Mr. Downey who's up there, who's ready to put a report out and very happy indeed.
But yeah, absolute dominance from the first half as well. Chances are plenty, but we stayed strong, and then took that momentum into the second half and just absolutely ran the show.
We did. We're all Mr. Keith Downey.
We're trying to work out who it is.
It's Downey. It's got to be Downey.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
It has to be. Where were we? So we came into half time, Johnny. We battered them.
Sports in a bit, and in the background we're like, they're fucking shit. Fuck 'em. In the background.
We went into half time. It was 0-0. What was the message Eddie Howe saying at half time? Is it just keep going as you were?
I think it has to be. I think the only thing that slightly worried me was Anthony on Dan Burn. I think there was a couple of occasions where I thought, he's got the beating of him here. I thought Dan Burn was fortunate to get a yellow card at one point, but I thought as the game progressed, I think he had Rashford to contend with. He had Anthony a little bit. He done better with Anthony in the second half, but I think generally speaking, Eddie Howe would have just said, just continue what you're doing. You will get goals. Believe in yourself a little bit, because let's be honest, between box to box, we were battering Man United, but sometimes it's that one moment and you don't want to look back and go, why did we not score when we had the chances? But look, incredible second half performance, just what we needed. And to be honest with you, it was a long international break. It's been a long time since we played Wolves, but brilliant, man, absolutely brilliant.
So it was fantastic. Let's talk about the first goal. And Carl, you sit literally front row of the Gallagher. So you've got the best view. Obviously all of us are in the Gallagher, but you've got front row. And talk to me about the emotions.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I'll be honest, Chris is just out of camera here. He's always the one trying to keep me calm. He was over the barrier. I'm literally having to hold on to him because I'm like, he's going to get chucked out in a minute. But everybody was absolutely bouncing. Yeah, it's like you've all said, it was coming. And we owed them one today. And I think all of that kind of disappointment and pent-up aggression and passion has just come out. And yeah, it was amazing, mate. Absolutely amazing. People probably look at this and think it's a bit ridiculous, but I think that's the biggest game of the season. I really do. With what we've just done today to get us back to where we want to be to kind of clinch on the Champions League places. Yeah,
I see it back on track. It's 3 wins and 3, but back into the hunt. And 40, what were your emotions when that first one went in?
Oh, it's confusing because it's going to be about to be a treble substitution. So so it was looking like Max was coming off.
Like the Bobby days, wasn't it?
Yeah, treble substitution, chuck them all on. Let's go for the jugular. And then Eddie Howe said, scrap that. Well, Maxi said scrap that as well. For a little bit at least anyway, but yeah, absolute scenes, man. Like, I don't think I've hugged someone that I didn't know that much since.
A bit of man love.
Yeah, a little bit of man love, just a little bit, but it's all right.
See, I think it's just, so surreal because in any walk of life, but bar a football match, if you just walk down Tesco, for example, and just hugged a stranger as you're getting your meal deal or something, it's just so awkward. But that is just so acceptable. But
security guard trying to pull him over, hugging him. I think he's turning around thinking, what's going on? But I was about to shake his hand after and apologise. He just got caught up in the emotion. I thought he was going to chuck us out, but no, he's brilliant. Bless him. So, yeah, it was just class.
And of course, we did have a couple of other chances. I mean, I'll talk about the goals properly, the goal scorers later, but Fabian Schär hit one from distance, just went wide. We had a corner.
He's been through the walls today, Fabian Schär.
Schär could have had a hat-trick.
He was phenomenal today.
Nearly took his head off with Trippier's cross, didn't it?
Yeah.
He was absolutely phenomenal. I think everyone talks about Botman, and rightly so. He's been exceptional.
I champion Schär all the time.
No, you have done, but I just think he deserves a mention today because he was in the wars, like Fordy says. He just put his head where not many people want to put their feet. Let's be honest. And I think he deserved to go. That shot in the second half, I thought that was in. I thought De Gea doesn't just stand still like that if he thinks he has to be unbelievably beaten to be something like that. But millimetres from making it 2-0 at the time, but he could have made it 3 right at the very end. So he deserved a clean sheet. The defence were exceptional. Man United didn't really cause us a lot of problems. They brought Martial on. I think just have a little look around St James's Park by the sound of it. So brilliant. Yeah,
and obviously Fabian Schär, as I say, the corner. I think it's a save by De Gea. Comes back to Schär and then
I think he hit the bar, didn't it? Joe Linton hit the bar.
I can't remember what it was. It was a save on the bar and then
hit the bar from there as well.
And then obviously it's cleared off the line by Martial. But I did have it on replay that looks like Bruno Fernandes does clip him. It would have been soft.
Oh, Bruno did do something today. Not our Bruno, they had Bruno.
Just whinge, just went to the corner.
Wondered.
Just whinge and whinge some more.
He's hated, isn't he? It was so toxic. He's hated.
He's hated everywhere he can because he's always like that, isn't he?
I was saying to the guys around us, I would just be so interested to be on the pitch for 5 seconds to hear, the
he's captain.
I know. It's
mental, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an antagonistic little twat, to say the least.
Yeah, 2-0, and obviously all the subs had already happened just before that. I want to talk about obviously Kieran Trippier's delivery. We know what he brings. He's the thing I like about Trippier, he's always forward thinking passes. Not all his passes come off, but he always wants to pass forward, and that's a massive difference. Cameraman's gone. A massive difference in just basic stuff instead of going square backwards. But the substitutions were made, 40, and If you give Callum Wilson, he's had a lot of stick eye since the World Cup, but Trippier whips it in, free kick from the right. He's unmarked, in off the post. It's game over, 2-0, and he's running off.
That's food and drink for a minute. Put it in the 6-yard help box, that's it, food and drink for Callum Wilson. It's competition for places, that's what we want. We've got big Isak scoring goals and running his socks off all game. Take him off, Callum Wilson comes on, within 5-10 minutes, pops up and scores. That's what we want. Do you know what I mean? So, happy days, man. This is like one of the best games of the season, if not the best game of the season for me. Like, beating Man United.
Not just beating them, just like
dominating them, like from start to finish. That's what I'm saying. And it's not like me with the Geordie blinkers on and all the rest of it. Like, tell me where you've had some dominance in the game, Man United fans. Please let me know, because I've watched it with my own two eyes.
They had possession for 15 minutes in the first half, but I'd call it pointless possession. It was possession up to a certain point where we were happy, maybe towards just past the halfway line, second third of the pitch, and it was kind of like, well, if you want to just play around like that,
then have it. Like, you're not doing much with it.
No point where you thought they were threatening a goal, was there at all, really? So.
No, Pope didn't have hardly anything to do. Just a couple of shots that were almost straight at him, and the fans obviously started to join themselves. They knew the game was dead, because that was the 85th minute. You're 2-0 up and it's just party mode once again. It just gave me Arsenal vibes all over from last season, how a team for the touch trying to get in the top four, but they come to St James's Park, they're playing for something, and we absolutely battered them. I'll come to Eddie Howe in a second, but I just want to bring up your point that you mentioned about strikers to Johnny for this. It's a great headache he's got now, because Isak's scoring. Wilson's like, well, I'm on the bench. What am I meant to do? Come off the bench, I score. Are you going to play me? But is he fortunate to have 3 games in a week that he can rotate and keep the strikers happy?
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see Callum Wilson start on Wednesday against West Ham, and I wouldn't be against it.
He loves a goal against West Ham.
His record against West Ham is amazing, but how can you drop Alexander Isak right now? Like, how can you drop him? Like, today he was absolutely sensational. Like, that, the chance for Willock is from an unbelievable first touch from Isak, who plays it through towards the left-hand side, towards Max, who drives it in, who plays it back. There's a car coming this way, any seconds will just be.
This happens every time on the last word. Yeah. Who was it this week?
Who
was it last? Who was it this week?
However, I think to really get the benefit of seeing how good Alexander Isak is, trying, if you can get a ticket at any ground to watch Newcastle United, just watch him solely, because he's the first man that tells us how we're going to play, essentially, and it starts from him, and obviously everybody else comes along with it.
He just glides.
The gazelle, isn't he?
Like a gazelle, yeah.
That's what we're going to nickname him, Gazelle.
I hate when Sal Mulder's right, but he's right on this occasion. He is, because like that is it's incredible to see. Like, he didn't score today, but he could have had 2 goals, like 2 extra goals from him, just him being like a nuisance and getting involved. Like, yeah, I could go on.
It's the closing down. It's the fist bumps at the end, because we all love it when like the players do that.
Yeah,
don't
there's
we?
more and more doing it.
Oh yeah, Dan Burn was doing it plenty. Bruno obviously does it, but it's just always all-round game. Not just the goals. It's this all-round game. Phenomenal striker.
Yeah, I think we need to hear from Eddie Howe, because it's a fantastic win. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, great day for us. Great performance, I thought. I thought we fully deserved the win. I thought from start to finish, really good physical effort from the players. A very intense game, a lot of running, but we fully deserved it. We talked about tweaking a couple of things, but nothing that probably, and when I looked at the second half, was drastically different. The goal was a high quality goal, really good team move. We needed that first goal in the game, and I think that was probably it's an obvious statement to make, but it's probably the key moment. No, you credit Callum with his positioning and his awareness and his goal scorer mentality, and that's what he's done all his career, and delighted for Callum, and it goes to show the strength of the squad today, because we had a really strong looking bench. I was able to bring those players on, and they helped us when we needed them.
So that was Eddie Howe. Of course, Eddie Howe, you know what he's like, Carl. He likes to play it down, but I'm going to bring up the league table in the next few seconds, because we are 3rd in the league, and it's the start of April. It's no April Fool's joke. We are going to be keeping an eye on, of course, the Everton result on Monday night, as well, as we all shuffle together as the car goes past, as it always does. But I'll put the graphic on. Nice car, actually. We're 3rd in the league, Carl. We're 3rd.
Yeah, it's in our hands now, I think, to be fair. With 2 games in hand on Spurs after they play Everton tomorrow. Everton probably, I was talking to Johnny about earlier, I'm quite confident that Everton could potentially pull out a result against Spurs, because Spurs, being all Spursy, are doing Spursy things, and they're going to try and pull away with Leicester in the relegation zone.
It's not even a bad thing that if Spurs win, because we've pulled Man U into it.
True.
It's not just us, Spurs and Liverpool. Now Man U are clawed into it.
You just can't bear the thought of having to potentially support Everton tomorrow, can you?
take a draw.
I will support Everton for a one-off because Champions League football is more important for us than Everton staying up. I would love Everton going doing, but
you're right. Man United are in it now.
Yeah.
So they've got it is between us, Spurs, and Man United. It seems. Obviously, Brighton are still on the outside of it, but I really think.
But
it's
all
in
the
our
results
hands.
went our way.
Yeah, it's in our hands. It's in our hands.
Did anybody say anyhow square up to Ten Hag about what was it like? It was
Time wasting. It was just time wasting.
Ironically, because again, David De Gea was like time wasting from minute one.
Do you know what it is? They can take the fucking Fergie watchers back to London or wherever they want to go, man. Honestly, who cares?
Fergie is right.
Refs and fans are shite.
Fans are shite.
It's brilliant because we got stitched for. Well, we got brought up about it at the start of the season. I think it was against Liverpool, wasn't it? And then everyone was like, "Oh, we got our comeuppance with them scoring in those late minutes." Everybody that's come to St James's since has tried to use the same tactics, and it's worked against them, and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely, it's 2-0 hammering. I mean, it could have been so much more. Look, I know we've had a bit of fun, but if you're a real Manchester United fan. I'm just looking around, any Manchester United fans? No, not in the north or not. But look, if you are a go at Manchester United, let us know seriously in the comments. Are you actually worried about the top four? Because we've now pulled us into it as well. I know we've had a bit of Mickey taken at the beginning, but you give it to us when we got beat on the Carabao Cup and we had to come on video and front that we've just been beaten in the final, which was
not to cry.
yeah, it was very difficult as well. But midweek 40, obviously we've got a couple of London games coming up as well.
Looking forward to Brentford.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wind this up. I'll get a Brentford.
You got Brentford.
I mean, I've only done 59 games this season.
You going Brentford though?
59 games.
You going Brentford though?
I will be.
Away, friends.
Well, yeah, Man United fans, we go home and away, even though we win out. But does he rotate? Because there's 3 games in a week, and the first 14 players for me are first team level.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's a bit.
Yeah, he's got to rotate. But again, it's nice to see. Even today, off the bench, we're bringing on the likes of Joe Linton and Wilson. So again, it's not a total car crash, is it? The fact that you can bring on goal scoring Callum Wilson and Big J7 off the bench. So you've got to rotate.
But it's only we're saying that because we've won Man United, but 1-2 injuries, Johnny, and we're back down to earth.
To come back, right?
Yeah, we do, but I think if you take out the first, and I'm going on a tangent because it could happen. We could have 1 or 2 out, and then the depth isn't quite there. But that's important for the summer. It
is, and look, it's massive this summer. I think everyone's kind of keeping it a little bit to the side. Oh no, it'd be nice to get this player. If we're in the Champions League,
what were we saying before? We were actually looking because we'll be pot 4 in the Champions League.
If we get there,
I know, but if we do, because we can dream a little.
Renew my passport,
so if we qualify for the Champions League, we'll be pot 4.
When we qualify,
and we can't get an English side, which means we'll get a pot 1 team, which will be one of the Madrid clubs, Barcelona, Paris, fancy trip to Bayern Munich,
I'd love to.
Or one of the Italian clubs. It's Scottish football there. I know I've got the friendly affair, but with Rangers, a proper British club. But yeah, you excited?
Look, we're not there.
The end of the season.
Of course, we're not there yet. I think you're quite right. I think there's going to be a rotation going at the West Ham, probably as well for Brentford. I don't think you can take that defence. I think that defence has to stay as it is. I think there's probably the argument for Matt Targett to maybe get some minutes, but I don't think you can change it at the minute. I think it's a big week for Newcastle, but after Brentford, there's it's week by week a little bit. I think bar the Everton game where Everton Southampton, but it's Everton and Southampton, and it's not Man City and Liverpool or Man City and Chelsea. We've kind of 2 teams that you'd expect minimum 4 points from out of those 2 games. So look, it's right. Carl says it is in our own hands, and while it's in your own hands, take advantage of it. But West Ham's going to be just as tough as it was today in a sense because Man United did frustrate us a little bit, but West Ham are coming off a win, but they can't be. They're not that consistent. There's a lot of negativity in regards to Moyes, so Newcastle should take advantage. I'm sure everybody that's going down, myself included, will be, like I say, I can't wait till Wednesday now. You just want to counting down the days because Newcastle 3rd in the league. If
you're changing it though, you're only tinkering it with it, right? You're making 1 or 2 changes max. You're not doing a wholesale change.
If you start Joe Linton, Wilson and Gordon, are you going to be that
It's not
that's
bad.
what I'm saying. But
for me, you're taking Jacob Murphy out of the team. You're taking probably
I think you leave him in.
No, I'm just saying if you are making changes, you're taking Jacob Murphy, Maxi and Isak out, and you've got Isak coming off the bench. Maxi for 1 game is it going to make a massive difference? I think Eddie Howe's already thinking what his team will be for West Ham, what his team will be for Brentford. It'll be slightly different. Like Brentford have got to go and play Man United at Old Trafford on Wednesday, so it makes it
come on the Beaks.
Well, to be honest, it makes it a little bit not easier, but it just means that us and Brentford are playing at the same time. We're staying in London. They've got to travel back early hours. It's just it's the club's just being professional. Like they could back in probably the McLaren days, who was on the bench for Man United, whinging his tits off as well. Look, we wouldn't have stayed in London for 2 days. We would have gone back to Newcastle, done a probably nothingness until getting on the flight on Friday to go back up to London, back down to London. Sorry. So, look, this club is being run properly from top to bottom. This club wants to be in the big competitions. Do you know what? Let's enjoy the fucking ride.
Enjoy the win as well, everybody. Just a side note, the women's game was called off today against Barnsley, but Durham-Cestra have won, so Newcastle are fighting on both fronts, men and women, right at the top of the league. So we'll keep you informed with the women's as ever when that gets rearranged. But from Carl, from Johnny, from 40, what a win, man. What a win. Drop us a like. Come on, it's Man United just beat them 2-0. And if you haven't seen the match reaction, if you haven't seen scoring the players, which are some very high marks, there's a debate about man of the match on that, to go and have a look. Almost 4. See you, everyone.